And I thought, oh, it's Jesus. It's Jesus. I started getting really excited. And I was totally giddy and excited because I knew who this was. Anyway, I come out of this tunnel, and I could have crashed into it as fast as I was going, but I just kind of came in and stopped. I was just a few feet away from him, and he was in there, and the Shekinah glory, or the eternal glory, the glory of God was in there. And it was like lightning fire. I mean, just roaring. This white light is absolutely pure. It was like lightning. It was literally like lightning. Feel it, even though I had a hard time seeing him, I could see his silhouette. You could feel him smiling at you. But you could feel his great power. Oh my gosh, guys, you knew you're in the presence of God the Son. Absolutely, surely. You know what? And honestly, I didn't really believe that much in Jesus before this experience. He was just someone that you heard about in school or church. And he was a nice guy, and people were mean to him. He's misunderstood. I didn't really give it a whole lot of thought growing up, honestly. Okay. But this changed because you knew who it was, and he had all the authority and all the knowledge and all the power and everything. And he just loved you, and you felt this love like you would never can comprehend. But anyway, in this fire, I was trying to look at him, and eventually he would turn it down, but first he grabbed me, okay, and he took me to himself, and he embraced me, he hugged me, and it was awesome because you feel his power. But this love, I cannot describe this love to you guys. We don't really have the language here. It's like describing a food, a color, a taste you haven't experienced. We simply don't have the ability to express this. And it was amazing. He was healing me. He understood me. It felt like he basically took a remote and paused the universe just for me and him. And the funny thing was, he took joy to be in my presence. That's what was crazy. You think he'd be having me having joy with him. It was true, but he was delighted that I was there with him. That was insane. That was totally unexpected. As I was holding him, I realized I was a spirit, but I was holding a resurrected being. He wasn't ghost Jesus or spirit. He was a resurrected being. I stand back from, and I'm looking at him, and he eventually turns down the fire. And then I see what I found later in the scriptures in the Bible. It talks about him having a head like a sun. I did see that, and he toned it down, and he finally turned it down, and then he had.
And had the most incredible presence that filled my room. Like I saw two beings, but one stood back, and one was forward. He was so radiant and so full of love, and I immediately recognized him. I knew who he was, and I thought, what is Jesus doing here? And every ounce of him was just pouring out unconditional love. He didn't care how much debt I was in. He didn't care that I was struggling in school. He didn't care that I was, failing things. He just loved me for who I was. And I had never felt that intense of unconditional love. It was incredible. And the way I try to explain it is that I could feel every cell in my body vibrating. And as I was looking around the room a little bit, I had one of those hospital trays in front of me, the ones that they'll put your food on or your drink. And it only had a drink on there, but the metal tray was vibrating. I could see every atom vibrating with his love, and it was extraordinary. It changed me. And there was a point where I went up and I was looking down at my body and looking across at him, just looking at me. And he was saying things to me, but not out loud. And then I was back in my body, and he told me I was being given a second chance at life. So when he gives me this news of you're being given a second chance at life, it was like my whole body exploded in joy. It was this amazingness, and I knew it. And he went, and the angel went, and I fell asleep. And when I woke,
anyway, Jesus helped me to my feet, and there was heaven. giant rolling hills, gorgeous rolling hills with flowers that I'd never seen before, colors that I'd never seen before. Beautiful. And the fragrance was, I could smell the fragrance of the flowers, and the sky again was the distant sky was just, you know how you look into a distant sky and maybe you'll see purple or orange or a beautiful sunset. This was it was 100 times that. That's all I can say. I mean, the grandeur of it. And I asked Jesus, I said, where am I? And he said, you're in heaven. And he smiled, and I looked into his eyes, and he looked, this is really important. He looked right back into mine, and his eyes caught my eyes. And what I saw in his eyes, the comfort and the kindness and the love and the generosity and the blessed nature of this man, what I saw in his eyes, it shook me to my core. And I then to my left, I saw a giant angel that was standing there. And the angel smiled at me, and I smiled back.
Wow, what an incredible place this is. What a place. It was just the atmosphere of heaven. It wasn't diamonds and gold. It was the atmosphere and the colours and the freedom and the love. It was just beautiful. So yeah, I saw these children. I saw flowers and rolling hills, and I looked up at the sky, how blue it was, and then I saw what I thought was the sun, but soon enough it started travelling towards me. And when I realised it was travelling towards me, I saw that it had a white centre and it had a halo around it, but it was mercurial in a plasma way. I know it sounds difficult, but yeah, it was not any kind of material or light that we see here. It was at once solid but not solid. It's difficult to explain. So yeah, I saw this light, and it came very close to me, and out of this light stepped a man in a robe, a white robe with long hair. And I was just, in awe as soon as I saw him. It's not, you don't have to think, who is this? You just know. As soon as I saw him, within myself, I just thought, is that Jesus? He's really real. He's really real. And when I said that in myself, straight away, it was just like no time. He just imbued into me laugh. Like, what a funny, you're so funny to say that. He just delighted in me, and I was embarrassed, of course.
And so I just stayed and I shut my eyes, and I was not there any longer.
Wow.
I know that the meeting continued because I had my phone on record.
Right.
But I wasn't there.
Wow.
I was not there.
Where were you?
It was a good 40 minutes. We're talking 40 minutes. I was gone. And I could see this wall. Now this fire between my hands became a wall of fire.
Wow.
Now sometimes we think of fire and we think of hell, right?
Right.
But actually when you're in the glory, there's fire.
Holy fire.
It's holy fire.
Right.
It is holy fire. And so I was in this wall of fire, and I heard Holy Spirit say, stick your head through it. Now this sounds a little odd. That's okay. I'm a seer, so I'm not going to hold back who I am.
Yeah.
So he said, stick your head through this wall that you're seeing. So I put my head through like this, and when I looked through on the other side, I was face to face with Jesus.
Wow.
Looking eye to eye with him.
Wow.
I can't ever get through this without crying, because you see Jesus' eyes, Ryan, and you're just undone. Those are the most alive eyes I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
They're so alive. There's fire in those eyes. You look at them and you see the fire. But not only do you see fire, but the fire goes through you.
Wow. Wow.
And so I am looking at him like I'm looking at you, but I'm eye to eye with him. And I can feel the fire of God consuming me.
I feel it now.
It burns through you.
Yeah.
And it sees everything. Everything. You can't hold anything back from God, right? He sees all your mistakes, everything that you are, your good things, your bad things, your flesh, everything. He consumes me, and the fire's burning through me. But yet, I look at those eyes, and they're so full of love.
Wow.
There's no other love like that.
Wow.
There's no other love like that. And not only is there, so it was an interesting thing, because it was this weird balance of the fear of the Lord. Like, I felt so afraid of the power of God, right? It was like, wow, his power was going through me, this fire. But yet I was feeling just the biggest dose of love ever being poured through me.
Wow.
So it's fire and love going at the same time, right? The perfect mix, I say.
Right.
It's the Jesus mix.
Yeah.
And then also those eyes, I'm looking at them and they're so bubbly, like they're full of joy.
Wow.
We often
You were feeling all these emotions.
we're
at this
comfortable with God as like the power of God, but the joy of it says in the Word, the joy of the Lord is our strength. Well, he's so full of joy, and he's just bubbling with happiness over me.
Wow.
Little Anna, over me. He's looking at me and he's so happy.
Now, does he feel that way about every single person?
Everyone, everybody. Listen, you at home, I just want you to catch this right now. Because I know that so some of you are saying, okay, well, that's just maybe for Anna, like experiencing and seeing the eyes of Jesus. I know that God right now, you can look into the eyes of Jesus. See, he's accessible. He is so accessible. And often our unbelief that we can have access is what hinders us from getting there. But he is just a Papa Daddy, and he allows us, he invites us to come sit right up on his lap. See, I have that childlike faith. I know that I have access to him.
Is that one of the entrance points? Is that childlike faith?
Yeah. You just you lay down your unbelief and you say, here I am.
Yeah.
Children that know they're loved.
Yeah.
They go right, they run right up to their daddy.
Well, let me ask you this. I know you personally, and I know you have a childlike spirit.
Yeah.